Hey people, Kate Slink here, how we doing? So it's tier list time, the time where you get to chuck your stones and eggs at me and have a moan because I put your favourite character in meh tier. But as I always say, this is my opinion. I take this opinion from videos I see, from a lot of character testing I do myself. Including this one at Revis. Do you know what I mean? He's really changed my mind since the last time I did a tier list, so he's increased in many ways in a lot of the categories that I've put him in. But in this time, it's more people that have increased. There isn't anyone that has gone down in my estimation, and I've also included a few new characters you can see from the black stars from my previous tier list. So as I always say, please let me know in the comments below. Your opinion. I like to know what other people think. Also, like I said, if I put your favourite character in the OK, I'm not saying he's absolutely rubbish. I'm just saying he's okay personally for that kind of area. I've also added a Mortarion tier list as well to this, so we'll go through. I'm not going to talk too much about each kind of category because I will put a copy of this tier list in the description below so you can see at your own leisure. But as I always say, let me know your opinions. So first we're going to be looking at the arena, and if you've not watched it before, I'll put them in the God tier, good, okay, and a meh tier. Now as I always say, it all depends on what roster you've got, what characters you have got to play with. But in the arena, I put Ulf into the God tier straight off because he is such a God tier character. I could talk for hours about how great Ulf is in many areas. He's such a great character, so useful in arena. Do you know what I mean? If you've got that summons, or if he counters like Calendis, he can really do well. So in my eyes, he definitely deserves a God tier place. Also, I put in a good tier is Arjak and Abraxas, purely because, again, Abraxas is really good with the summons. You get him high enough. I've tested him at a high level and he's really good. Them screamers and the pink horrors can do some great damage, and it can really cause people even in the tournament arena, it can cause some issues if you get in the right time, get them summons out and get the psychic attacks. They can really do well. I've increased Vindicta purely because I've seen her used now a lot more in the tournament arena and she is brutal. If you've got her leveled up, I've been against her more than anything, and I think, wow, this character is really good. So she definitely deserves to go into the good tier in my eyes. In the OK tier, I've got Jark and Azriel. And Azriel, I'm pretty disappointed, to be fair. I feel like he needs the rest of his faction to do good. But standalone kind of character is okay. He can do okay damage, but I do think there's a lot more when we get more Dark Angel characters to come, that Azrael will come out of his shell. I really do think so. And apart from that, we've got all the normal kind of people I've said before who I think deserve a place in each tier. Next, we have the Guild Boss Tyranids. Again, Ulf is at the top there. Abraxas is good. Chark, I've put it good. And Azrael, again, okay. There's no other changes really there, like say, but if you've got like Creed, Archmatos, Eldron, Morgan Ra, Yarick, Roswith, Alefnor, the list goes on. They are all amazing against this boss. I've seen recently a video with Yarick and Creed, and them two at a really high level with someone like Bellator. It can do some really serious damage against the Tyranids, so they are definitely worth ranking up if you've got them. Next we have the Sarlacc King, which is probably one of the most frustrating guild bosses out there, but the likes of Yarick, Creed, Volk, Eldron, Morgan Ra and Revis I've actually put up there because now I've seen the kind of damage that Revis can do and how useful she is in a Sarlacc King is amazing. You do need the kind of range for that boss, especially if he's going to sit up there on his throne. You need characters out there that's going to shoot from afar. Ulf I put in the good tier. He can do good. I'm not saying he's going to do amazing, but again, if you can get him from his throne, that's when Ulf kind of comes into the play. But if you can't get him from the throne, you've really got to chuck Ulf as close as you can up there, so he can be a bit of a trouble. Abraxas again is okay. I've kind of tested him with against Sarlacc King, and you really again need to get him off the throne for him to be good. Next we're going to look at Ghazghkull Thraka himself. Now Ulf, this is where Ulf comes into his shine out of all the guild bosses. definitely deserves a place in the God tier. He's amazing against Ghazghkull with the hits. If you just kind of follow him around and just be next to him when the alt boys come down, do you know what I mean? He will just clear them when they land next to him. So he is such a great character against Ghazghkull. And also Reavers, Volk, Golgar, Bellator, Eldron, Yarrick, all them kind of usual suspects are really good as well against Ghazghkull. Azrael, I put in the OK one again. And I put Abraxas in the meh tier because for summoners against Ghazghkull, you've got to wait to that third round after he kind of summons, I think, to get full advantage. So I think you can take better characters and then Abraxas for sure with you against this guy. Now we've got the new part, which is Mortarion himself. Now I've put Reavers, Morgan Ra, Eldron, Rosswither, Aleph Null. Now Aleph Null is really great against Mortarion. If you can just get him up there in his face straight off and release the Scarabs, and if they can multiply around him, you're kind of giving Mortarion kind of no space to move. You're also giving him a chance to attack them before you attack your guys, because if you fight Mortarion at a high level, when he hits hard, so you need people to be standing back. Rosswither is probably an MVP against Mortarion. If you can get her really ranked up high, she's amazing against him. Again, Reavers is really good, and Morgan Ra. If you've got them characters, they can do really well about Mortarion. But also Certus is a great shout. Like it always out, Brother Butchered out of Black Templars. Now he's very rarely can be good, but against Mortarion, if you've got him high ranked, I've seen him do some great damage from afar. So if you've got him, is also good. Volk, show cell, so you do need them range hitters against Mortarion, because you don't want to be next to him in his face, else it would just be game over. Hence the reason why you've got Azrael at the bottom, Abraxas. They're just no good against this boss. Events is more like legendary events and other little events that can happen. Obviously it can be hit and miss of what characters you can use. But in most events, Isabella's really good, especially in some of the legendary events when you can get her like surrounded and just keep on using her health spam to make sure no one dies. She's really good for that. Angrax, again, is another great character just to start clearing out some of the hordes that come out. Calendis, Showzel, Reavers, again, is all great characters in the events. But as you can see for the good tier, there's a lot of characters there. And I've increased some of the Necrons. Now the Necrons will probably go up again since the last update, because they've got quite a bit of a buff. And I can see the Necron army faction, what you're going to call them, kind of moving more and more up as we go on through the patches, because I do think there's so much more scope to them, and they seem to be getting a lot more buffs than any other faction. So it's going to be interesting to see people start using the Necrons more and ranking them up more, because I do think they're going to start coming into play a lot more going forward. And finally we have the general tier, which exactly what it says on the tin. This is a generalization of characters across all different modes. Like Rosswither is good in a lot of different modes. Reavers, Yarrick, Eldron, Aleph Null is another one. Ulf, Golgar. These are all characters. If you do look enough to get them, get them ranked up, because they're going to do you well in a lot of different modes. And then obviously they've got the good, the okay, and the meh tier. So that's my tier list. Like I say, I don't do this every month. I do it every couple of months, and the meta does change a lot. So I'd like to know what other people's opinions are. Like I've always said, this is my opinion. Please don't take this as gospel. Do you know what I mean? As I always say, it depends what characters you've got at the time. If you're new to the game, you're not going to have many characters, but the many little characters you've got will do you well until you start getting some of the better characters to get you far in certain events. So I hope that helps some people out. That's all I try to do. Again, as I always say, let me know in the comments below what you think, if you would put anyone in a different kind of tier, because I do love to hear that. I like to people change my mind, so please let me know, and I hope that helped everyone out there. Please don't forget to check out some of my other videos, and also hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Take care, bye bye.